I got you on this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Come rock with me. We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the fanatic, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the southeast from state to state? What team hungry gon' eat everything up off they plate? Who the next one that's really gon' step up and be great? Yeah, the FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah, part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah. Don't forget to smash that like button. Comment, subscribe, all that. The fanatic. Yeah.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Channel for sports fans by a sports fan. It's your man, Coach I, and I got my boys with me. Where all my dogs at? All right, we are back for another episode of the Fanatic Football Live. There we go, Cal. We back for another episode of Fanatic Football Live, sponsored by the Johnson Development Group and the Tailgate Kings. All right, what's going on, fellas? How you doing down there, JV?
Man, let's get it. Thought I'd be able to sound a little better this week, fellas, but apparently I just can't get my life together. Let's just go ahead and say this right off. I'm real proud of the dogs. Super effort down there enjoying him. Obviously, somebody's gonna bring some heat to the conversation this week about Stetson. I ain't gonna say no names. I ain't gonna make it too obvious, but completely proud of the effort again. We just smacked on them. Glad to be here with you guys.
Welcome back, Cool Cal. You've been away from us, man. We're glad to have you back in the house. How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling great, man. It's a dog world. We're number one. I'm ready to talk about these dogs today, man. Let's get it.
Okay, CA. CA, how you feeling, man? How you feeling tonight?
No complaints, man. You know, we all excited about the performance that the dogs gave us on Saturday night down on the plains. Couldn't be more excited. I mean, right now, just like Cal said, we're wearing that number one slot like we've always wanted. We want to see if we can carry it to when it matters, but excited about the last game. Looking forward to the next one. On to the next.
All right. And Dad, how you doing over there, Charlotte Parker?
Man, happy to be back for another week. You know, it's always great to be back in fellowship with my guys, man. That's the best thing about this show, is getting back and see these guys and having a great debate. I mean, this is what's going on. Let's get it. 6-0. Let's go.
That's right. 6-0 is right. And like Kirby always say, pressure is a privilege. And we are definitely under pressure right now. Like JB said, we done moved into that number one spot after going down on the plains, giving Auburn what we wanted to give them and coming away with a 34-10 victory. So what do we see out of the game, man? Give me some positives, Cool Cal. What you seen on Saturday, man?
I saw a lot of positives. You know, first thing, I thought it was definitely a big road test to go down to Auburn. No matter what their record is, it's always a tough place to play. It's one of our biggest rivals. So I think we went down there. We took care of business. We looked at it as like a business trip. We played within our composure. The defense went out there. They were dominant again. And I think it was just a good, solid road victory. It set us up. I think, obviously, we still got things to work on and continue to improve and get better. But I like where we're going because it seems like each week, no matter who our opponent is, I feel like we're playing up to our abilities and our standards and our level. And that's exciting to see.
That's right, man. And like you said, there was a lot of positives on Saturday, but you know how me and Thad get down. Thad, give me something that we got to work on from Saturday, though. Give me something that we got to work on that you seen Saturday, man.
Well, you know, That's kind of the problem, Coach. With the way that our defense is playing, it's very hard to gauge what the other side of the ball is truly able to do. That's what I was saying, in the last episode. We have a false sense of comfortability because of our defense, which is, it's a good problem to have.
True that.
The way we play defense, it makes the offense so much easier. The play action, the run game, everything is good because the other side is playing from behind. You know what I mean? So really, it's almost like we are our own worst enemy. Playing so good on defense is really our problem on offense. But it's hard to say that because at the same time, when you look at the end result, we still scoring 30, 34 plus points a game. 30,
We are, man.
So it's hard. It's hard, Coach.
And I thought Todd Monken called a great game on offense. But like you say, our defense affords us to be in short field positions when we start out. But I felt like Todd Monken called a good game. But I do have a question for CA. CA, Stetson moves the offense, right?
Yes.
But mostly, like, if you watch the differences from when JT in and when Stetson in, like, we'll throw the ball around the yard with JT and then we'll run. They more balanced with Stetson. You think that's because of his skills or the trust level the coaches got with Stetson? They like, well, we know he can do this, but he can't do this.
I would have to say, when you look at the difference between how the offense is conducted when you have Stetson versus JT, it would have to be behind what the coaches feel like his level of capacity is, or whatever his cap in play is, whatever they see from him in practice from a week-to-week basis. Okay. They understand what his capabilities are. They know what his limitations are. They might feel like he's good on some deep passes versus, filling the playbook up with too much of that. So I like how they do seem to, we don't necessarily change everything we do, but we do have the passing attack that caters to Stetson's ability. I think JT does a lot better with multiple receivers in the passing set. That's why we have a lot more 3 wide and 4 wide with JT out there. When Stetson's out there, we got a lot more 2 tight. 11 personnel is rare when Stetson's out there. From my, I'm just thinking about it. I could be wrong, but it just looks like we got a lot more play action involved when Stetson's in the game because we're doing a lot more running. So, overall, I do give a tip to the cap to Todd Monken, because when I said last week, I said Stetson is enough to win it all. It's only because we won't be the offense we probably envision, but we do have enough playmakers in position at the tight end, at the running back to help complement Stetson. So, I think it was a good game plan this past week. I think we can definitely continue to do more. I do like what I saw in the perimeter game, especially when I look at what Lad McConkey gave us, having some explosion at the wide out spot. So, we got a lot of plays. We got a lot of development that we can try to take a look at. But with the coaches understanding Stetson's limitations, this might be the extent of what he should be doing right now. And again, it does change from week to week.
Okay, I definitely agree with that, man. And we are somewhat critical of Stetson at times on this show, and other players. But I want to take some time, man. Let's give some of these players some roses, man. JV, your boy didn't really get in that action this week. Bowers, he had a catch, but he was more of a blocking tight end this past weekend. Who else on the field, man, you want to give some props to this past weekend?
You know what? I want to welcome back Big Washington, man. I done talked a lot of trash, and well deserved, because I don't think he should get that starting spot back. But it was good to see him out there. It was good to see him out there moving. It was good to see him make some adjustments to the ball, pull the ball in, try to make some guys miss, keeping guys off them legs. And, just good to see him back out there, period. Yeah. And, that O-line. I just want to get a whole O-line kudos, man, because those boys went out there and did a job. It wasn't even a kind of job. They went out there and did a complete job.
Yeah.
Raise your hand, Sean.
What's going on there?
JV.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say he's a mismatch problem as well. And I can say since he had returned, we've seen a resurgence in the run game.
Well, see, that's why I was going to bring that up. I think Bowers, like, athletically, man, the dude's a freak. He's been the best tight end definitely in the SEC. I don't know about the nation. I have to watch everybody else, but when it comes to blocking, like Thad said, it's just something about that big 6'8" Darnell Washington. He moved bodies, man. And our run game has picked up these last 2 games that he's been in. And I think
linebackers can't check him either.
Yeah, linebackers can't check him.
He's just too big.
And so I think with them 2 on the field, that's like the perfect combination. You know what I'm saying? Because they both can catch. You know what I mean? Not the boo-boo on John Fitzpatrick, man, but you know, it is what it is. Brock Bowers been that dude, and now Darnell's coming back. So when we in 12 personnel, I think them are 2 dudes, you know what I'm saying? So
hey man, talent is points and money lost.
True.
Can't substitute it.
True. Now, Cal, I want to ask you about the defense, man. So we came out, it looked to me anyway, like we came out in kind of like a base defense. We wasn't doing a lot of stunting on the line. That first drive, that's why I feel like Auburn was able to get that drive. But there was times throughout the game where Auburn receivers just dropped the ball. I don't know, we wasn't playing that great. You know what I'm saying? Auburn receivers just dropped the ball. So, I mean, that's going to happen. I'm not saying that we're going to shut down every play, but what did you see from the defense where it might be some holes or something somebody can take advantage of?
That's a good point. There was, I think there's been, a few opportunities that we've seen in some of the games, and some of the teams, they just haven't been able to take advantage of those opportunities. I think that obviously the only hole that I see in our defense is if we don't get the pressure that we need, potentially, they can do damage on the back end. Okay. But it just hasn't been quite exposed yet because, the front 7 is just so dominant at this point. But there is some concern with that. I think there was a stat out we looked at, and it was talking about Kelly Ringo, and he's got like the best pass defensive efficiency numbers or something in the SEC or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because it's like, is it misleading or has he been good? But obviously we'd say it's misleading because there's been some times where the quarterbacks just haven't been able to connect on him. And, I guess it looks a little bit better in that sense as far as him, playing defensive back and not being exposed yet. But when I think we play better passing attacks, that's something that, we're really going to have to tighten up, or we're going to have to be able to scheme it, to keep those deficiencies down.
Speaking of that, people taking the chance to try to expose us leads us into something y'all wanted to talk about, man. The contenders that along with us in the East, I think clearly is Kentucky because they're undefeated, and Florida, and numerically Tennessee's only lost 1 game. So Thad, this Saturday, do you see Kentucky do have Wildcats Robinson? He's a great playmaker. I don't know, down the field, I don't know if he can just stretch the field, but I know he can make players miss in space. Wildcats Robinson, I think they got Josh Ali on the outside, supposed to be a speedster. Do you see us focusing so much on Kentucky's run that they might be able to hit some shots on us in the pass game?
No, that's the best thing about our defense. It's not necessarily that we have to focus on anyone's run or pass.
Okay.
It just, I'm going to be honest with you, it just come down to the Jimmys and Joes. We got better Joes than everybody. We can run almost what we want to run. Okay. You know what I mean? We don't have to be, so concerned about their run game or their pass game. So in terms of their receiver, we don't have to worry about the pass game because Kirby's going to be able to scheme the backside up, and we're going to only send 4. And nobody's going to really be putting any pressure. And when we do send pressure, they're not going to get it off.
So you're not falling for the fact that the media say Kentucky got one of the best offensive lines in the nation?
Listen, Vegas is not falling for it. We're favored by 24 points.
Hey, I'm with you. I just don't think nobody going to come and run on Kirby. I said that in the first show. I just don't believe nobody's coming into Athens, setting their sights on running the ball.
We too good at our front 7. We too good up front. I don't think Kirby, is running anything that's just exotic. Yeah. You know what I mean? On defense. But we got better players.
True. Okay.
I like how Thad is proving his point from last week. You look a little comfortable with that defense. We are too good, and you ain't gonna take but so many chances. That's really what Kirby is doing. And that can be a detriment because we are playing to that. Now, we saw what happened to Alabama, and that's what we've all been worried about. Are we going to be able to perform when our back is against the wall? Are we going to have to turn around and find an offense that we hadn't seen all season when it's on the line? Now, we won't be able to prepare for that because we don't anticipate being in that predicament.
Okay.
And that's the toughest part. No one can force us to get ready for that, especially if JT is not available and we are not, as the scoreboard dictates, forced to do so. So that's kind of tough. We don't want to overexpose anything. At the same time, we're going to do what it takes to win every game while trying to prepare for these unknowns. So, Thad, I agree. We got a defense that's too deep in that front seven that doesn't like to allow points, period.
Yeah.
I don't see you scoring 20 points on my defense. I don't care who you are. I'm talking about in the country. So it's hard for me to not play to that strength. That's what that's what it's going to be difficult for us.
And I think both of y'all are right, man. And I think so up to this point, like you say, CA, we can't predict what we ain't been in the situation to do. But up to this point, man.
But listen, yes, you can, because what I want to say is you don't put a speed bump in the neighborhood after the child get hit. You put the speed bumps up first. Don't speed through the neighborhood because there's children out there.
Yeah.
So we want to be prepared. You just have to be. I understand the week-to-week thing. I get it. But like I said in the last episode, we just can't act like the problem is not there.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
So hold on, CA. So I'm with you. I've been with you the whole time. Like I see the flaws, or I see the possible, I ain't gonna say flaws. I see the possible issues that could arise should somebody be able to go field goal to field goal, or I don't know, not our defense, but let's say they get a special teams kickoff return. I don't know. They're able to put some points on the board.
How many points our offense scored in the Clemson game?
3.
Yeah,
Three.
It's 3.
That's what I'm saying. So, but this is what we've been talking about this for a week now. And one of the things is we can talk about possible problems, but let's talk about solutions. So how do you put that speed bump in the neighborhood before the child get hit?
That's my question. Like, what do you do?
How do you prepare for that? That CA was just saying, like, we can't really prepare for it because we can go in practice. I know y'all play. I'm pretty sure Kirby puts them in situations, but how do you prepare?
In a sense, okay. Cool. First of all, I want to say I ain't want to take up all the camera time. Cool.
You got it. We need to know this.
You good out there. Go ahead.
Hey, we ain't got no time frame either.
In a sense, he's doing it.
Uh-huh.
But because you can only go with your backup. But what I would like to see is you get this man a little bit more of the reins. Let him stretch out a little bit more. I know you can win games with him.
Okay.
But let's him take the reins a little bit. We let him not ride the defense so much, because at some point he's gonna have to score points for us. And we don't want to see him throwing the ball into the defense hands because he haven't taken shots before.
I got you. So, like, back to what me and C, like what I asked CA earlier about how Todd Monken calls the games when Stetson is in. If he's only comfortable with Stetson doing, I don't know, 50% of the playbook, you saying that you want him to give him 75% of the playbook in some of these games to see what he can do?
Why not?
What if
I ain't saying you got to show your hand. I'm sure he got plays for days.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, let's stretch it out. Let's see what this car can do. Well, granted, we know his ceiling, but let's not let him throw the ball 13 times a game.
So you saying once we get a 3-touchdown lead, or you saying from the jump? Because maybe they feel like if they start that from the jump, they're gonna put the defense in bad situations, not playing complementary football.
Yeah, because I think now complementary football.
I'm not trying to get outside of ourselves, but all I'm saying is, no matter how you want to word it, if they trust them, I trust them too. I believe in the coaching staff. Once again, we know it's Stetson Bennett has, and when it boils down to it, this is the problem. At the end of the day, as good as he's playing,
Yeah.
We always looking to replace him. If he was that good, we wouldn't be looking to replace him.
Right.
And I don't think to this day, at the end, my words, I think CA answered the question that he think we can win the whole thing with Stetson Bennett. I'm saying I don't think we can, and that's what it boils down.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, Cal, how you feeling about this?
Quick question for you, Thad. So when you saying you don't think we can win with Stetson Bennett, it's because of how we
No.
call the game?
I said win the whole team.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Team.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't. I'm asking why you don't think he can because of his talent level or because of how we call the game.
Well, I think it's actually both.
I was about to say,
first of all, his talent level, no. Because I think when you come up against a team that you're somewhere equal with in terms of talent level, pockets and holes get tighter. Yeah. Pressure comes. That's when those deficiencies show up. Anybody can throw the ball perfect on out. Like his long touchdown, it was a great ball, pretty ball, but that was like throwing on out. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right.
Great clean pocket. So what I'm saying is when the bullets really get to flying, I don't think his talent level would take us over the top in the three main games that I mentioned, not meaning to jump the gun, but the three main games that I mentioned last episode.
So that's been a narrative in the media, social media, on TV, whatever, is like, can Stetson get it done when we need to score more points? Now, while I'm with you, Thad, I started thinking about that this week because they said, well, when Georgia play a real defense, well, we played Clemson and we didn't score a lot of points. But I feel like personally, when healthy, Clemson is the second best defense behind us. Now, on our schedule, we can only play
that was JT.
That's
but go ahead.
Playing. Thank you, CA.
Yeah. I know. I'm just saying. I'm saying that we don't have to. I'm saying basically, who's the Clemson left with a defense like Clemson? Who's the one that's like Florida ain't got no defense like Clemson, right?
Agree.
Kentucky
nobody.
Kentucky, Missouri, Tennessee, Florida, Charleston Southern, Georgia Tech. Even Alabama, if we was to see them in the SEC championship, their defense ain't nothing like Clemson's.
Before, it don't matter. They got the athletes to match us. And when you got the athletes, styles make matchups. If you got the athletes, it's any given Saturday or Sunday when you got the same kind of athletes out there.
That's what happened to Texas A&M and Alabama.
Yeah,
so Florida going to be tough regardless. And so is this Kentucky matchup. Alabama going to show up whoever they have to play against. I don't discount either one of those three.
No, I'm not discounting. I'm just saying, like, we talk about how good, how good our running game been getting. Our wide receivers doing good. And yeah, we didn't score a lot of points against Clemson. But what I'm saying is we won't. Alabama got athletes, but Alabama defenses look bad against Alabama defense. Didn't look good against Mercer, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
But for real though, we don't ever know. Again, I think one of the points who's going to show up for our offense on one of those given Saturdays against even a subpar defense.
Okay.
I don't know. Again, though, if it's going to really matter because our defense is so good. Right? I don't see any offenses out in the SEC right now, aside from Alabama, who will be able to line up and possibly threaten us from sideline to sideline, short and deep. So it's almost a question of the chicken and the egg, right? Like, saying what's first? Like I think the conversation is good to have and it's interesting to have. It's almost an unanswerable conundrum in question.
I can get with that. I can get with that.
Well, how y'all hide behind that argument when we talk about this, but before the season starts, we'll sit down and look at the schedule and be like, hey, we're going to go 12-0. That's the same thing. No, but I'm just saying, everybody looked down at the schedule before the schedule, and we looked at our schedule. Everybody on this call, except Coach I, can't speak for Coach I, but all of us, we talk. Hey, man, if we beat Clemson, we look to go undefeated. We don't see nobody else beating us. Maybe Florida a game, but we don't see nobody beating us. So why now, because we beating up on these folks? Like, that's what I'm saying. So maybe my argument is, it's not necessarily an argument. Maybe I'm just thinking too far ahead. Y'all week to week, because I keep thinking about these 3 games that I keep mentioning. That's all I'm worried about. Cause all this other stuff I already expect to happen.
Real quick, let me answer that, and I agree with you because coming into the season, we mostly say, okay, Clemson, Bama, Ohio State. That's what we're looking at. Mainly Bama, because we're gonna have to fight through them basically to get into the playoffs. But and I hear what you're saying. To me, this is a different year. I don't have those fears. I don't look at us and think that we're gonna slip up. I don't feel like that. I don't have any fear. I think we're gonna go out there and smack Kentucky. And I think we're going to get in this bye week, get better, get ready for Florida, and get ready for the stretch run. I see a lot of different things in this team versus what I've seen in the past. It's led by defense. I think our defense can take us all the way to the national championship. I don't think there's a team in the country that can get over 24 points on their best day on us. And as long as our offense can go out there and continue to do what we're doing, I think we're in good shape. I don't have those fears where I'm like, oh, my God, when we do this, we're going to stumble. This team ready, man. They hungry and they play like that every week.
That's some good points. So you don't see. So do you? I think what Thad's saying is on down the line, since we don't see nobody in regular season beating us on down the line in the SEC championship, possibly the playoffs, possibly the Natty. Do you see any flaws that can be taken advantage of? You said you don't see anybody scoring over 24 on us. In converse,
I don't. I think that would be a great executed game plan. I don't care if that's Bama, Ohio State. I don't care who it is.
Okay.
Like so that defense like that, because for one, for you to score that many points, I don't see a team going up and down the field 4, 5, 6 times to be able to score that many opportunities, have that many scoring opportunities. That's what I see from the defense. Unless they're going to hit a lot of big plays. And I just don't see a team hitting 3, 4, 5 big plays within one game to be able to do that.
I'll say let's cap it at 24. So if Alabama scored 24, are you not worried at all that they can stop us from scoring 25?
No, not from what I've seen from this Alabama team. I'm not. I've seen them play a lot against Florida. I've seen them play a lot against A&M. And of course they've got athletes, but it's not the same team, just like we're not the same team this year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is our time for us to go out there and stomp everybody this year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is our time to do that. And so we can't be afraid of it. Let's just go ahead and ride it.
I don't know. Like I say, we talked about it a little bit last week. Clemson was a close game. Every team had a close game. Even them teams that we so-called remember to be dominant, every team had close. Like last year, Alabama 15-0, 12-14, or whatever it was. But Florida played them close. Texas A&M played them close. To Thad's point, because they had the athletes to do so. The year before, everybody remember LSU stomping everybody. But what they don't remember is they played a tight game against Bama, and Auburn almost took them at LSU. So that's what I guess we be trying to foreshadow or see. Yeah, so like who's gonna be able to do that, and do we think anybody's gonna be? I mean, it's hard not to see flaws.
Not in the regular season.
Not in the regular season.
That's what I'm saying. Not in the regular season. Like me, yeah, man. I hate to say it, but I'm looking beyond. Like what we're doing now is expected. You know, I'm not trying to look too far ahead, but the first episode we opened up was the national championship of bus. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my head is at. You know what I mean? Great. So it's just what I'm saying is when you get to a certain level, meaning the SEC championship and beyond, you're not going to have the athletic advantage that we have now. CA.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why you keep calling my name. I ain't said that in 5 minutes.
I was about to say.
You see what I'm saying?
But I said your name for a reason.
All right, well, let me answer it then. I ain't gonna be able to answer the question until we had a game. Ain't nobody gonna be able to get these answers to you that you want until we play. I don't know why you beating on this dead horse. I'm saying you are. We've been doing it for 15 minutes. Is it my turn? Yeah. We've been doing it for 15 minutes. We ain't got Alabama this week, bro. What you want to see? What should we be doing?
I never mentioned Alabama.
I'm saying, yes, you have. You mentioned the same 3 games the whole time we've been on.
Okay.
You said that everything up until then don't impress you. So I don't know what you want me to say. We can't do no more than we doing. You know, if you want Stetson to run a different playbook, I understand that. But you know what? I think he's doing that because JT don't run read option. So we are doing some things different. JT don't run those plays. So, I mean, what you asking for, you won't see until we get against that opponent.
I don't think
you're just going to continue to carry that frustration until we can make the rubber meet the road.
I don't think you'll see it either because
it ain't that we can do. You know, I'm just going to sit here and listen to you do the same thing every week, and I'm going to focus on who we got Saturday, you know, because I want to beat them. And then when I got that Alabama question in front of me, I'll be able to answer it, you know, because they're not going to be the team they are today. You know, we didn't anticipate them losing. So I don't know what Alabama going to show up. I don't know which Florida going to show up. But I do know which Kentucky going to be here Saturday. They call themselves ranked in the top 11. I think I got something for that. That's all I got.
The only thing I say, like Thad said about expanding the playbook, I don't think we're going to get to see that either, Thad, to be honest with you. Whether it's right or I don't know. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I don't think we're going to get to see that. The Todd Monken going to call whatever game he think going to win us the game. And Kentucky's you know what I'm saying? Kentucky's a traditional pro-style offense, so he's not going to come out and throw it around the yard. We won't ever see that from Stetson, definitely, unless we have to. And so far, nobody's been able to put us in that predicament where we have to. You know what I'm saying? So, if it keep going like this, look for Stetson to only throw it about 15 to 18 times on Saturday.
I mean, but for real though, fellas, I mean, to CA's and to Thad's point, I mean, we 6-0 right there, right? So, CA, you said we getting ready to touch on that second half of the season. And because we getting ready to touch on that second half of the season, I mean, you walk the journey that you have. So, every week, to CA's point, we get just a little bit better. Luckily, we stay injury-free because that can shape what and how our game plan is going into the week 2.
We ain't injury-free, though.
We got plenty of injuries.
We are getting better, though. You know, we got receivers coming back.
Yeah,
you know,
we're getting healthier.
So hopefully we'll be better.
Yeah.
Go
you know what I'm saying? I mean,
speaking of injuries, do y'all think not having Chris Smith this Saturday is going to affect us at all?
No.
No, I don't think
because Kentucky is a play action team that likes to run and try to keep everything in the box. They're gonna look for the big play. No.
Okay. Hey, I'm with
simple answer from me. No.
Okay, JV.
Not really. I would like to see him out there though, but
okay.
I don't think it's gonna be a detriment.
Like I say, we are getting healthy, but we was pretty thin down on the plains.
I want to see Tyke.
He played a little in my place. He played on special teams, and then he played a couple of he played the last 2 defensive series against Auburn. I mean, granted it was trash time, but he at least got out there to try to get it going and get in shape. I'm thinking he might have to play a little bit this weekend, but like y'all said, I think our front seven, because our front seven, the most important part of the defense is all healthy. So nobody's out in the front.
That's the team.
The front 7 too deep. That's our team.
Front 14.
The front 14.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of them healthy. So the injuries are like I say, Amir Speed is out at DB, but like you say, Tyke Smith is coming back. Latavius Brini, he got picked on a little bit, but he didn't give up no yak. So that was the biggest thing. And he broke up that pass play in the end zone. So you know, like I say, Chris Smith, I think they said he dislocated his shoulder, but he popped it back in, was going to try to come back in. But after we was up big, it was no need for him to. So
gotcha.
I don't like to say, man, I don't see Kentucky. Let's go ahead and get some score predictions on the Kentucky then so we can get that out the way. I start. I think the game going to be kind of like last week. I think it's going to be like 31-10, 31. They might get a field goal and trash. I think it's going to be 31-7 going into the fourth quarter, and then they might get some trash points.
Okay.
So, Thad, what you
We ain't letting you get away like that. Come on, all right, finish it up.
34-13.
All right, there we go.
34-13. What you think, Thad?
I'm writing up, 31, 13.
All right. Cal?
I think we're going to be a little bit more dominant. I'm looking at like 45-7. Somewhere in there.
I love it. JV?
I would 38-14. They might end up having the first 2 touchdown game of the season on the defense, but I think it's going to be cleanup work.
Okay. CA?
I'm with Cal. I see 42-7. I think the defense shows up and looks like the number 1 team in the land between the hedges, beat up on that blue.
All right, that goes to something Cool Cal had brought up in our chat, man, about us handling being number 1. If y'all think back to 2017 when the CFP first poll came out, we was number 1 in the first poll, and that following weekend we played South Carolina. We beat them 24-10, but I was at the game and we didn't like control the game the whole time. Like it was times when South Carolina thought they could win. You know what I'm saying? So Cal, since you posed the question, how do you think we'll handle it? I mean, I obviously think we'll be against Kentucky, but overall, do you think that number 1 ranking is ever going to play a factor, or is this the year that Kirby has the team dialed all the way in?
I think Kirby has the team dialed all the way in. This is his 6th year here. It's totally, fully his program. Every player, coaches, everything about the program has his mark on it at this point. And we're at the point now to there's no longer Mark Richt guys or Mark Richt days. And I think that Kirby's ready to handle it. I mean, he was taught by the best coach in college football history. So I think that he's going to take that experience, bring it here. And that's what we wanted. We wanted to look like another Alabama, a dominating program year in and year out. And so I think that we're here. And so now I think we just got to go ahead and keep holding at number 1, keep playing hard, and just seize the moment.
Being number 1, Thad, does that play any part in us going forward? Because like I say, you see it's 17 to 20 year olds. I mean, but like I said, I actually think they are dialed in. I mean, just watching them like at Vandy. Vandy, we thrash Vandy. Vandy sucks. We should thrash Vandy. But 2 years ago, 2019, I'm at the game. We beat them 30-6. They were sorry then, but it's different this year. I see that focus. And are you seeing the same thing, Thad?
Yeah, I don't think the rankings necessarily matter. I think JB kind of was one of the first ones to kind of hit on it earlier. He's been stating all year that, the team just looks different, how much prepared we looked. And we kind of touched on it earlier episodes where we was talking about, I think I hit on a few times where back in the past, we had the reputation to play down to other teams, competition.
True.
And it's just one of those years, like everybody see, it looks different. It looks different. And I'm going to go down to my boss and my friend CA, which keep bringing me to that point. I know he don't want to hit it again. But I'm gonna keep saying it because that's just because I want to be the one. I'm not on here to, I'm a fan of the game, so I can be negative. As much as I'm a Georgia fan, I can be negative. You know what I mean? I can be negative. I see all the good points that everybody see, but I want to be negative too because I see other things as well. And the coaches can't say it. I ain't Kirby Smart. I ain't got to get on here and say, be politically correct. I can say what I want to say. So with that being said, you know, huh?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, so with that being said, just back to the point, I think we are a different team, and I think a lot of it goes into, I wish Erik was on the call because I would like to give him credit for it, is he's been talking about the recruiting for years.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, man, I'm tired of winning the recruiting battles. But that depth is showing off. That's why we different. Because we got the players and we got the depth.
Man,
so to your point, I think we're a different team.
Like you just brought up recruiting. That just reminded me of when they first announced that we was number 1. I'm like y'all, like we've been recruiting great since Kirby got there, but I'm tired of winning recruiting championships. And when we first got announced number 1, like Facebook and Twitter blew up. Like everybody was like, "Oh, we number 1. Oh, we number 1." And I'm like,
"What a ship!"
Yeah, the AP poll don't even matter. Like it's right. CF, really. And like Kirby said in his presser, like we want to be number 1 at the end. I'm happy to be number 1. Don't get it twisted. I'm happy that the Dogs undefeated and we're doing what we do. But it's like another paper, award. Like it don't really mean nothing because. like we saw with Alabama, Texas A&M took them down. That #1 ranking didn't have no bearings on the game. So I do see.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
go
was
ahead,
gonna
Cal.
say, Coach, that's a great point that you said. As far as being #1 right now on paper, like that would be big for a school, like we said before, like Cincinnati. That would be huge. For us, we've already been there and done that. It's time to finish it on off. Stop being scared. Stop, having these reservations, and let's just go ahead and take care of business. We can only do it one game at a time. Let's go out there, take care of this week, and just move week by week.
Okay, and we all have talked about that defense, man. Speaking of that #1 ranking, that's pretty much that front 14, like we just alluded to. That's one of the biggest reasons, if not the reason, we are #1. Absolutely. Is this one of college football's best defenses ever?
Let me jump in this one before anybody get a hold of this steering wheel, man. Please.
Yeah, go ahead, JB.
Because, I ain't afraid to say it, man. Before I became a dog, I was a true blue Bama fan, raised in Alabama. And I really, in my heart of hearts, think that 92 Alabama squad was the best defense that ever graced a football field. I don't know if you're going to ever see a defense like that.
Curry Copeland,
Lemansky Hall, George T. You got Langham. You got, you had 9 guys on that squad that played in the league. Every linebacker, every D lineman. One DB didn't go that year, but actually all 11 played in the league. Man, that defense was the best I've ever seen on the field. With that said, though, put a look Lee Corso. Outside of a safety, outside of, I can't even say a D lineman, I think this is as comparable of a defense as you can ever see compared to those guys. And I'll just say that. I can't say that they're going to be, I would consider them better because, again, that defense was, made of, of nightmares and everything else that you don't want to meet in the night. But this defense right here, man,
being written too.
True that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
Without a shadow of a doubt. But I think the defense, man, it ranks right up there. Not in the right now in the 2s and the 3s. I think it ranks in the 1Bs and the Cs. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you. Okay. CA, what you thinking on that?
This defense definitely has a chance to be legendary, to be completely honest with you, because they have the tools. I think when I look at the comparison, I go to those early 90s Bobby Bowden defenses with speed at the linebacker court, just like that defense you mentioned coming out of Tuscaloosa in 92. They always had a lot of talent on the D-line at the linebacker and in the secondary. So I think we have that. Our secondary is not there yet. Those guys are going to continue to develop their name. They might be a year behind the rest of that front 7, which we call the front 14 because they're too deep. They can be special, and we're going to lean on them this year. We haven't been here before. This #1 ranking, it doesn't come around as often as we might want to pretend like it does. That's why the fans are going crazy. It's important for recruiting. It's important for the fans. It's a good barometer of the program, but it's just really a temporary identifier to show us, we really haven't gotten there yet. So, I'm anxious to see how the team performs. I'm glad we have a new standard at Georgia. That's the main thing, playing to our standard, and the defense continues to carry us. And right now, if they want to end up being legendary, they got some work to do this weekend. So, it's hard for me to get past that week to week, situation, fellas. I struggle with that, but I'm gonna work on it because, we do have to have foresight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not blind to that part of it. I just try to, I'm going to allow the coaches to do that part. And, from week to week, I'm going to evaluate what the product looks like. But I definitely see, we can be better. But I also see the best team in the nation. So there are no excuses, regardless of how we decide to get it done. It's got to get done. I think that's kind of where we all meet. That's why we're all so excited. Even on this call, when we get a chance to chop it up about the Dogs, that excitement comes from a place. We all want this as bad as any player putting it on right now. So, you know, they understand that. No excuses regardless. Thad, I'm glad you're here to be heavy on the critical side. We need that because it is reality. You know, this ain't going to be what we think it's going to be. Ask Alabama about what happened to them last week. So we'll see what Kirby rolls out for us on Saturday as the #1 team in the country takes on.
Okay, and before
the reality of the situation is, when was the last time we won the national championship? Because that's what we're trying to win, right?
That's what we have.
And before
with it being over 20 plus years, 30 years, that's why you have reason to be negative. We have 30 years to show.
Because we got a lot of like, we was there and then we wasn't there because we did something that we wasn't supposed to do. Before I get your thoughts, before I get your thoughts on the defense though, that CA said something. Like I said, I'm gonna tell you, like I say, when I saw the whole like Georgia Nation going crazy about the #1, I was like, it's not that big of a deal. But CA, you said something. It's like, technically, we haven't been #1 in the AP poll since 1982.
Right.
We started out 2008 in the preseason as #1, and then we wasn't. I think we lost the first game or something like that. So we've been #1 in the CFP, but not the AP. So I guess I get it. You know,
was the playoffs.
Huh? Yeah.
We were #1 in 2017, but that was the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the CFP playoff poll, but not the AP poll. We haven't been #1 in the season in the AP poll since 1982. So I guess I get it.
Gotcha.
You know, I just like to what that it always lose. Like we ain't done it since night. You know, and I'm like, I'm tired of winning a whole bunch of other stuff.
Recruiting titles.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I want to win the big thing, and then I'm probably gonna be the most obnoxious person.
No probably about it.
Winning red and black. They gonna hate me in the upstate of South Carolina. That's all I can tell you. So, Dad, what you thinking about this defense? They like you say, their resume still being written, man. What you think? Like, what's the ceiling for them, man?
To everyone else's point, I think CA and JV kind of alluded to it. I mean, I think CA hit it on the head. I think he said we have the opportunity. Yeah. Which was something in that line, which was a great word, to be the best. And what I want to throw out is a few stats to just kind of put things in perspective.
All right.
So over the past 20 years, guys, the best 3 defenses in college have been. Anybody want to take any?
I want to take a guess at one of them.
I got one.
2001 Miami Hurricanes.
That is correct.
They had
2011 Alabama.
That is correct.
I don't know.
And the other one is anybody else? The other one is 2008 USC.
Okay.
Right. So Miami in 2001 gave up 9.8 points a game. Bama 2011 gave up 8.2 points a game, and USC gave up 9 points a game. Okay. UGA right now 5.8. All right. So what makes it even more interesting to, once again, at E-Rob point, and maybe to a point that at CA made also last episode, is the margin of victory of these 4 teams. Miami, 34 points. Bama, 30.7. USC 33.7, UGA with the biggest margin of victory at 34.3. And that's through 6 games, with meaning the resume is not finished being written, but at this point, we are the best defense of the past 20 years.
At this point, yeah. Okay.
And 2 of those 3 teams won national championships.
I was about to say the 2008 USC, they didn't win the national championship, did they?
Right.
Yeah,
that's when they lost to Texas.
They lost to yeah.
But they was in the show.
I believe that Miami team is one of the best teams they ever play in college football, but that's just my personal opinion. So they had a lot of draft picks.
I agree with you on that, bro.
Like them dudes was hard hitting, and like so we got the potential. If we can finish this thing out and continue to do what we've been doing, to be talked about. Because everybody's personal opinion may be different. But
if we finish on this pace, we will be the best.
Statistically, you're right. So I think that's good, man. It is something to be happy about. It's just, like I say, I'll be with you, Thad, man. It's hard to get ahead of myself, man. I'm like, because I've seen it so many times, man. It's like I don't want that other shoe to drop. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we over that hump, man, and we can get that thing done and be considered the best defense, if not one of the best of all times. With that said, man, we're gonna go ahead and get on to our pick segment. Our boy Stat Dog C is not with us tonight. But I want to go ahead and go over where we stand right now, because we hadn't done that the last two videos. And that's on my bad. So last week, Cool Cal came in at a cool 6-0 at the number one spot. E-Rob followed him up with an impressive 5-1.
Okay.
Thad and C-Rob was 3-3. Me and CA was 2-4. And JV bringing up the rear with 1-5. Now
he picked Auburn last week, didn't
he? Yeah.
Do we have an overall record?
I got the overall record. The overall record, we got a leader in the clubhouse. Name is Cool Cal. He's 19-10.
Come on now.
Second place is E-Rob, 16-13. So Cool Cal has a cool lead too. He's like up 3 games on E-Rob. In third place is me, JV, and Thad. We all are 15-14. CA is one behind us, 14-15. And then of course we already knew C-Rob was in at the back. My boy ain't here. Like I say, he know how to pick them dog games, but he be struggling on the other one. He is 12-17.
Man.
All right, and now to add on to that, we got our games this week. We got Miami at UNC. UNC is -7. UNC -7. I'm gonna go ahead and take UNC before this week came up. I probably would have been on the fence, but Erik King just had season-ending shoulder surgery, and he was pretty much what made Miami offense go. So I'm gonna go ahead and take UNC. Who you going with that?
It would have been a problem too, but I'm gonna take UNC as well.
Okay. Who you going with, Cal?
I'm gonna go with UNC as well.
JV?
Hold up on that UNC.
And CA.
Clean sweep with UNC.
All right. Our next game. This is the biggest point spread of the week that we are choosing from. This UCF, the theoretical national champions from 2017, at undefeated Cincinnati. Cincinnati is giving up 21.5. Who you going with, Cool Cal?
Keep it short and sweet, man. UNC covers. They get beat up pretty good, but they cover.
Okay, UCF. I'm sorry.
UCF covers.
I might have said UNC too, but I meant UCF. UCF Central Florida. Okay, so Cal going with Central Florida. Who you going with, CA?
I'm going with Cincinnati to cover the 21.5.
Thad?
I like Cincinnati at home to cover 21.5.
JV?
I'm going UCF.
All right, that's a lot of points, man. But I'm thinking with CA and Thad, man. I think the boys hungry. They want to get to that playoff, and they need to impress the committee. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Cincinnati.
At home too.
All right, our next game, Chip Kelly, UCLA going to Washington, and Washington is basically a pick 'em because Washington is getting a point and a half, giving up a point and a half. So they're -1.5. I'm gonna go with Chip Kelly to go into Washington and beat them at least by a field goal. Who you going with, JV?
Man, I got UCLA. They don't believe in Washington. 1.5.
All right.
Day on that.
Cal?
Short and sweet. Give me UCLA. I like what Chip Kelly's doing out there.
All right, CA?
I don't like Chip Kelly at all. Let's go Washington. Step up at home. Give me this pick.
That?
I personally don't like Chip Kelly either, but I'm gonna roll with him.
It is on the line.
All right, now we got probably the most points gonna be scored game next, and this is Ole Miss is going into Knoxville to take on the Ugly Orange University of Tennessee. Tennessee is getting 3 points. They're getting 3 points. So I'm gonna go with I hate to do it, but I'm gonna go with the Ugly Orange because they can run the ball and Ole Miss can't stop the run. So I'm going with Tennessee. Who you going with that?
Good pick.
I'm taking Ole Miss -3.
All
Because they
right.
can score.
All right, Cal.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm going with Ole Miss too. I think they'll be able to put up some points in this game.
All right, JB.
I'm going with Tennessee because CA made such a compelling argument last time, and it worked out. I'm just trying to find a thing on Green to go into this thing.
I tried to word my answer like him. He said ugly horn. I'm trying to get that mojo. Who you going with, CA?
We're going right back with it, baby. Tennessee, Josh Heupel. I need that magic. Let's go, Orange.
All right.
Orange, they will.
Now we got us a MAC game. It's Toledo at Central Michigan, and Central Michigan is getting 4.5. Who you going with, Cal?
I'm going with Toledo, man. To be honest with you, I don't know much about either of these teams, so I just picked Toledo.
All right, JV.
I'm going the opposite, but for the very same reason. Don't know anything about them. I'm running Central Michigan.
That.
Since being honest, I don't really know much about them either. I'm gonna roll with Toledo.
All right, CA.
I tell y'all what, I heard in passing Central Michigan might be struggling. I think I heard it, so I'm going with Toledo. I ain't doing no heavy lifting.
Look, I'm like y'all. I didn't know nothing about it, but when I seen the game, I said, let me look up Toledo to see if they cover the spread. And when they away, which they are this weekend, they cover the spread this weekend. So that's all I got. I'm going with Toledo. I'm going with Toledo.
Homework.
All right, and then our HBCU game of the week, we got the South Carolina State against Morgan State. They are at South Carolina State. I'm gonna go. I'm from South Carolina. I'm gonna go with South Carolina State. Who you going with, JV?
On Morgan State.
All right, CA.
Now, if I use me and E-Rob's normal theory, Morgan is who I'd pick, but I need to gain some ground right here. Let's go South Carolina State. Step up for me.
That.
Man, my bad homie went to South Carolina State graduate, so I'm rolling with them. I don't even care about the football.
All right, Cal.
That's good logic. I got the same logic. I had a homie that played ball there too back in the day. That's the only reason I'm rolling with.
All right, there it is. And we'll get our picks from I think they texted me in C-Rob and E-Rob text their picks in, and we'll go from there. We all got to make up ground on Cool Cal, man. This dude had like a 5-1 and a 6-0 week. So man, we got to make up some ground. I got to stop.
Huge.
Yeah, it is. He up big time. So anybody got anything else before we get out of here, man?
I'm gonna just say this: the key to winning is whatever Coach C-Rob, whatever he is, pick the opposite of what he picked. If you look at his record and my record, they about the opposite.
Oh, Stat Dog C can't get it right, huh?
That's all I got.
All right, anybody else before we close this thing out tonight, man?
Yeah, man. Let me just jump on real quick. This is something again I'm gonna harp on one more time for the Peanut Gallery. The entire season, I can't remember looking at a game. And any season before this, I have never been able to say this before, but I've looked at this every game this season, and I can only point out one penalty that I said to myself, these guys had as a result of breaking in concentration and not being businesslike in their actions, and that happened this past game with that personal foul against number 4. And as soon as he did it,
Atmosphere.
Almost admonished himself. He checked himself.
Yep.
While walking to the sideline. To me, man, that's big, man. These guys are out there playing. They're out there playing out of their mind. They're out there playing with conviction. They're out there playing with a sense of complete direction and believe they are meant to be here for a reason and a purpose. I'm with them. Salute, guys.
Character kids.
Yep.
Love it.
That personal foul happened on the first drive of the game, and who knows? Without it, maybe they don't even get the field goal. But that was the atmosphere. He was hyped up, and like you say, he did check himself as he was walking to the sideline. So much so that Kirby let him go right back in the game for the next play. So, but with that said, man, hey, the Dogs are 6-0. We ranked number 1. On to Kentucky. ESPN game day, homecoming, SEC Nation. Before I close it out, any of y'all going to the game this Saturday? I got to work, but any of y'all going to the game?
HD, baby.
Okay, that's why I'm gonna be doing the same thing. So, but shout out to the Dogs, man. We give them a hard time. Shout out to the Dogs for handling business for 6 straight weeks and on to the next. This
Tough
Saturday.
love, Coach I. Tough
That's
love.
right.
That's
Tough
all it
love.
is.
There we
That's
go.
right. That's right. All right, from my man CA, JV, Cool Cal, Thad, and our missing homies tonight, E-Rob and Stat Dog C. This is Coach I, this is Fan Addict, Football Live, and we out. Go Dogs.
Go
Dogs. Let's get it.